Hello Cancer, here's a reading for you for the time that started 2 days ago with autumn equinox and will last, I think, more than a month. I think it's for the time for 3 months perhaps, until the winter solstice. That's how I feel. Okay? I've already shuffled cards. First I want to draw one card from Margaret Peterson tarot deck. The card representing you and your energy. Okay. Oh, it's this one. All right. And we have Father of Coins already. And 4 cards from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck for starters. This deck is already shuffled too. And I just want to cut it. Please guide me for Cancer. Yeah, that's it. All right. Let's look at the bottom of the deck for the background energy. It's like the main external influence for you during this time. Okay? It's the devil. I don't know, but I felt it's gonna be here. So you have lots of earthy energy right now, because this is the Capricorn card. And here we have Father of Coins, which is also an earthy energy. So Father of Coins, a very grounded personality, a very stable one. As you can see, this person in the center is really ruling the world. That's what I feel, ruling the material world. Generally, you're the 6th sign I make a reading for, and almost each and every sign had very grounded earthy energy present in the reading. And you also start with this, with Father of Coins, which is King of Coins. King of Coins is someone who built material kingdom and now is ready, first of all, to defend it, second of all, to share with all he or she, because, you know, this is a general reading, so we can read for each and every gender what was produced, let's say. So, Father of Coins, let me just read you an excerpt from this beautiful little book, Tarot, Margaret Peterson. I feel a strong attraction to the woman who brought me into this world. Part of me wanted to remain with her, but the laws of evolution required different measures. My mind has tried to understand this unquenchable longing. I tamed my desires in my body. Fueled by the feeling of separation, I restrained what are called animalistic drives and instincts. Out of this feeling of sorrow and being deeply wounded, I created mighty buildings. I built cathedrals and scraped the skies. I cultivate the land, build gardens and terraces, and harvest the crops to secure our food supply. I discover unknown continents and dig up the earth for treasure. I hoard and distribute, and when greed overcomes me, I kill. Forgetting my origins and my roots, I turn vicious. Remembering my connectedness, I use my abilities to serve my community. The woman I call my companion lifted the veil of my illusion. Wow. So that's it. An architect. This is the architect archetype. a builder. But be careful, because with this is exactly what happens when you forget about your origins, when you're disconnected with Mother Earth, Mother Nature, the Mother. The masculine tendency to conquer the world no matter what. So you can be prone to these external influences of the Capricorn, of the devil, which of course Capricorn is not the devil itself. That's not what I mean. Capricorns may know very well what this is about. But the devil generally is looking into your deeper fears, deepest fears, facing them. It's a call to face them, because if you don't, you just subdue to your ego and its needs, which are not necessarily the best for you and the best for your environment. So be careful with this conquering power of Father of Coins. Use it for your community, not for the destruction. Okay? Let's look. The first card here indicates what should you left behind in this time of summer that is going to the past. What is it? Oh, 5 of Cups. Sorrow and being sad and crying over spilled milk. So some sorrow to leave behind, which is beautiful. Which suggests that you perhaps can overcome this feeling. And it's not about not feeling the sadness. No, it's not. It's about getting in accordance with it. Just keeping with it, standing with it, remembering about it perhaps, but going on. Don't feel tied to this. Just cry it through, cry it off. I know there are no such words probably in English, but that's how I feel. And then leave it. The sorrow which is well lived through is a powerful indication what's important for us. That's why it's crucial information when we feel sorrow, because it shows us really important and worthy things in our lives. But this feeling of loss is to be left behind, okay? Perhaps you've lived it through enough, dear Cancer. Okay, let's look. What's there in the time that is passing, the time of summer, that is still to harvest, that is still waiting to be harvested? 10 of Swords. That's a very strange card in this position. These are usually things you don't want to dwell on, right? Because this is a painful energy. So it seems there is something to leave behind here on an emotional level, but something not to be forgotten on a thought processing level. It's like emotionally something is over here, but not intellectually. It seems that some way of thinking is perhaps still hurting you, or is perhaps still working. And that's why you need to end this process, because 10 is also the number of completion. Something needs to be completed here, but not on an emotional level, but on a mental level. Perhaps there's time to let something go, some thought that was very hurting, not nurturing, a thought or a thought pattern about your life, about sorrow, about perhaps using your resources. Oh, sorry. Okay? There's a need to take a deeper look on this destructive thought or thought process that brings you pain. Perhaps because there's a way to end it now. Okay? Let's look at the next card. This is something you should focus on in the future. It's not coming from the past. It's in the future. It's perhaps starting now. And you should focus your attention and your energy on this. Okay? Yeah, that's another 10. But it's a very different 10 than this one. 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Coins. And 10 of Coins is all about the system surrounding you, like these circles are surrounding this inner circle, an inner star, and a star within a star. It's like a fractal of some kind, almost. These are usually people surrounding you, people creating a system, connections that feed each other, that nurture each other, that help each other grow, help each other maintain something, support each other. There are gains to be obtained here by remaining in the system, by remaining connected. And it goes very well with what I read about Father of Coins, that he's most powerful and most usable for the community if he stays connected. He is the real builder, the real architect, only if he stays connected with the source. And the source is usually a family. I very often read this as a greater family card. People whom you can trust. It can be family, it can be your closest friends, or your job environment, if it is supportive, if it is supporting you. So, together with this inquiring about the thought pattern, goes this: what's really building me in opposition to what's destroying me? That's how I feel this opposition. This is masculine, this is feminine, because swords are masculine and pentacles are feminine. So this is masculine energy escalated to the painful excess in form of thoughts. This is feminine energy accumulated to create great wealth. So everything here is telling me, dear Cancer, focus on the feminine, on these building blocks of feminine, of being supportive, of being in the system, of remembering about your origin. Okay? This card shows what's important but unexpected. You can expect this. There's some continuity about this. You know about this. This you don't know about. Son of Wands, so fire, finally. So you have a very stable set of elements here. Son of Wands is very much about change. about movement, about being happy to change, being ready to embrace changes, or even to start them. And most of all, Son of Wands is about movement. I don't see any blockages here, but 2 tens indicate that something is finishing here. Like, it's not the primal state of the process. These are rather final stages of something. Of course, it doesn't mean you will lose this or you will lose that. No, it doesn't have to be like that. I mean, things come in cycles. One cycle ends, but another begins. Of course, you don't have to go back to 10 of Swords each and every time. No. It would be best if you didn't. But you also can't stay in 10 of Pentacles all the time. I mean, this situation requires progress, and this is the card of progress. This is the card of moving, changing, and being really happy to do it. Perhaps even very eager and then losing interest in this, but still, you have this ability to move into something. Perhaps you don't feel it now. That's why it's surprising, but you will find it within you. Okay? The last card for you that I like to call a vista, so a look, an outlook, not the outcome. Well, it can be one of the outcomes. Of course, this spread doesn't have one outcome. It cannot have one outcome because it talks about a very wide life situation. So there are several aspects here. But there's something you need to know that cards want to show you, and this is this card. That's why I call it a vista. So I look into the future for you, some insight. And that's 9 of Swords. So pay attention to these thought processes, because perhaps that's what is grasping you within this devil force, this devil energy. That's what I feel. There's a thought pattern that doesn't support the building, the builder here, the architect for the society, for the group, for the system. But it's rather, I think it comes from fear, because this is the fear card for me, one of the fear cards. How did it come to this? I think that's the main thing to ponder on. How did it come to this 10 of Swords? Because, our mind can trick us. And it seems to me that perhaps you were hurt here, and then your thought process brought you in a kind of a trap. Because this is a trap. Thoughts are not reality. They never are, no matter how hard you think. They never are. They are only an interpretation of reality, which is, I think, too great for our minds to embrace. But we try. And the way you try is causing you pain and stress. I'm not saying stress is unnecessary, because, well, it is needed sometimes. For example, to make a diamond, right? But here, as you can see, it's all about death and rotting things. If this is the picture of reality in your mind, know that the picture is not whole. It's absolutely one-sided. And it brought you to this place of suffering, pain. Take a deep look at this, because I think you're missing something here, because your environment is very favorable to you. And you're at the peak of your active, proactive, creative, building forces. But there's something in your mind that scares you. Perhaps it's caused by this past, by this sorrow. It's time to leave that behind and rebuild the way you think. It won't happen overnight. It's always a process. But there is a need to look this fear in the eye. Don't try to escape it, because you won't. Look it in the eye. Notice it. Pay attention to this. And work for yourself mostly to change this pattern of ever-increasing pressure in your mind into something more constructive. Because this is destructive force. And it's touching mainly you, but it's also touching your environment. It always does. People feel it. People also feel those thoughts. Those thoughts are shaping your reality in part. They are not reality, as I said, but they shape it because you let them. If you let them, okay, but you can also change this. First observe it, like clouds in the sky, because that's what our thoughts, that's what thoughts are. Clouds in the sky, coming and going, passing. Not very material. You are more than this. You are so much more, Cancer. Pay attention to your thought patterns, because there's something to be done here, definitely. One more card from you, from Shamanic Healing Oracle, that I love, by Michelle Motuzas. One card for my dear Cancer, please show me. One card for Cancer, card of advice. One card of advice for Cancer. Oh, here it is. Emotional release. So there is something about this sorrow here, I feel. Emotional release. I think it's the first time I have this card. 37. We all want to be strong. As humans, we value strength and independence. But also as humans, we need the support of our family, our friends, our tribe. 10 of Pentacles. Trying so hard to be strong, pushing down emotions such as fear, anger, betrayal, sadness, fear, sadness, anger, betrayal, these are all these, only forces them to grow and become stronger. The bubbling up and release that eventually comes takes everyone involved by surprise and sometimes does harm in terms of hurt feelings and words that cannot be taken back. Get into the practice of voicing your feelings, even if it's just acknowledging them to yourself. Journal, create, dance. Find a way that you can safely feel your most feared emotions. That's That's what's devil. The most feared things in you. Feel them and then let them go. This is a potentially deep healing for you, Cancer. And I wish you that. Stay connected, stay tuned, articulate your feelings and let them go as you let go of thoughts. Because you are also not your feelings. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are so much more. I wish you a great time. Have faith and heal. Blessings. Bye-bye.